all here for one reason. We know that the beauty industry is a big industry. If you believe it's a big industry, can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah. All right. Participative, I like that. All right. So it's $530 billion worth of transactions in the beauty industry today, and about 40% of these come just from the Asia Pacific. We're talking regions like South and Northeast Asia, and we're talking MENA, why we're here. And one of the most interesting factors about this industry is that 60% of all the sales that happen between B2B relationships, between brands and distributors selling to shops. The balance 40% happens with your direct-to-consumer retail and so on and so forth, which is a substantial amount of that 530 billion that's happening just between offline processes, right? What we're seeing is that the B2B sector in the beauty industry is not only big and a major chunk of the revenue in the industry, but it's also growing much faster than the B2C side, despite the rise of e-commerce. What we're saying is some of the big beauty, FMCG brands and families of brands, and what we see is that majority of their sales come directly from B2B channels, right? Whether that may be selling to salons, retailers, distributors, and so on and so forth. What we've identified today, the 3 top key categories for people to sell in the B2B space in the beauty industry, the top three categories of customers that we've identified are salons, spas, and retailers. These could be the likes of your Sephora, Namshi, and so on and so forth, that we see that they each contributes a substantial amount to the B2B revenue in the space. Here we go. How many of us on the sell side understand what I'm talking about when I say that today we have massive teams to run this very, very challenging side of the business? We have 30% of our resources going into sales teams that are consistently on the phone, speaking to their clients, and so on and so forth. Building relationships, we know how difficult that is, right? I mean, I'm sure the buyers are lovely, but they got hounded by hundreds of salespeople all the time. How do you have your point of differentiation in this space? And your sales team are going to need to be well trained to do that, and so on, right? We see 20% of our teams going into admin, receiving orders via WhatsApps, Excel sheets, punching these orders into our ERP to make sure that our stock is up to date, and so on and so forth. We have another 10%, in some cases, of people who are demos, trainers. They have to go personally, train the clients, show them how to use the products, apply, and so on. And the rest of the team takes up around 25%. But despite having so many people inside your organization, what we see is that it still takes about 8 weeks to go from discovery all the way till you close the end-to-end transaction. Now, as I say this, I would love for the crowd to kind of resonate with me back by just waving every time you think that I've touched a keynote, like I've said something that you resonate with, that you feel with. I know it's going to seem a little bit chaotic waving at the guy on stage, but you're going to make my life easier and let me know that I'm on the right track. The first one is discovery. We know that it takes countless emails, phone calls, text messages, stalking people on LinkedIn to find the right contact of the buyer within your space. Can I have a show of hands on how many we see that? Oh, wow, look at this. The sellers have woken up. They know how to hustle. That's good. The second aspect is when you have to share your catalog information. When these buyers want to buy and they've said, hey, thanks for reaching out, send me your data, now you have to send it in your format, an Excel sheet with small images in the file and so on and so forth. Do we have a hell yeah over there? Now I have a question for the buyers, right? How many different formats do you get from different sellers? Multiple. So if I say that if you have 100 sellers, is it fair to say that you have 100 formats? 50. All right, cool. Some of these sellers are more efficient. That's good. But 50 different formats to just buy products that you need in your store? The third part of this is the order management. Today, I'd love for the crowd to engage with me and let me know, what are the different formats that you receive orders in today? Can I have a show of hands of Excel sheets? How many Excel sheets orders do you get? Okay, number 2. How many WhatsApp orders do we get? Right, we get WhatsApp. All right, how many email orders do we get? Right? How many phone call orders over the phone? I want 20 pieces of Davines. Do we get that as well? Right? And finally, I guess you guys also get them over salesmen going there and taking them manually. I'm sure you do. So what we see is that all this information is coming from so many different channels, and it's scattered in Excel sheets in different formats. How do you centralize this in one place? And third, once you have to raise the invoicing, it's all done manually. You have to go in, plug it into your ERP, let it generate, email it to your client, and so on and so forth. But then it gets even worse. Your payments are all offline, aren't they? How many of your clients pay via credit card? How many of you in the hands have your clients pay via credit card? How many of them pay via bank transfer? Right? Any other means that I'm missing out? Cash? Right? So it's a mix-up of different info scattered in different places. Your receivables get delayed. You don't know how to chase your clients to get the right payments on time. And finally, after the deliveries are done, now we know how the credit notes and debit notes work. Again, there's another set of email trails, Excel sheets, phone calls, and so on and so forth. I've probably gone through all the problems already, but just as a touch, today, because of these offline processes, we're seeing that 35% of distributors still rely on pen and paper. We're not even seeing them use any B2B tool or any ERP. We're seeing that it's time consuming. Right? We're seeing that your sales cycles could be a lot faster. You're spending a lot of your time on chasing each transaction down. Your teams are less efficient. You have teams that could be spending more time doing high-value things, like building relations with your clients, getting to know their needs, but they're spending all of that time on that Excel sheet, making sure they can close their sale or hit their target. You lose opportunities. How many of you get inquiries for your products over emails? New random leads just through the web, right? Just one? Okay, good. SEO, fantastic. How many of us get it over WhatsApp, right? How many times have we lost sales just because it's not come on the right channel? And in terms of the one thing that constantly overlook, we build up these teams within our companies. We train these staff, but as soon as there's an opportunity, a better opportunity for them, you've lost all of that goodwill, that investment into that person. And they leave sometimes with their clients. Those relationships go as well. How do you retain the stickiness within your business? And these are just the short-term problems, right? Long-term, because not all of these information are scattered, you don't have all the data in the right place. It prevents you from being able to make the right decision. 30% of the time, your inventory is unsold because you didn't buy on time. You didn't get the order on time. You don't have enough analytics to be able to protect or sort of help you plan your stock position in a more effective way. Receivables and obviously your inability to scale. As you're constricted by these offline processes, look at it like a fence that they've put you around, and it's our time today in the 21st century to break out of these fences, right? The wholesale journey shouldn't be this complicated. And what we do as a business and what we believe in is that we're able to deliver speed, simplicity, and scale to how brands and retailers operate. Today, we see that by implementing B2B solutions, right, into businesses, we're able to reduce the timeline by 75% and also reduce the cost of operations for these sellers and buyers by 65% on both sides. How does that happen? Well, it happens by implementing a simple B2B solution that makes your entire process seamless, easy, and scalable, right? It's not meant to be rocket science. It's meant to be as simple as uploading your catalog, firstly, setting up your profile. Who are you as a distro? Log in, create your own profile page. Let your clients understand a little bit about who you are. Step 2, upload your catalog. Have all your inventory in one place, your images, your product descriptions. Step 3, go into having a managed retailer dashboard where you're able to charge different pricing for different customers. Restrict part of your catalogs to different customers and other customers as well based on their tiers or positioning, and charge by margin as a percentage. Fourthly, have all your orders in one place. Centralize all that information so that you don't need to go running behind different channels to be able to generate those insights. And finally, once you have all the first 4 steps, the 5th one's easy, right? The intelligence that you can get is beyond imaginable in today's world, especially with the rise of AI and other technologies that are available today. What we're seeing in the world today is that B2B e-commerce is on the rise. We're seeing that it's a $12.2 trillion industry globally. And this is cross-category, not in beauty alone. But when we go and deep dive into certain categories, we're seeing that the adoption is growing 20% year on year, one of the fastest. FYI, this is like exactly the same as how B2C e-commerce was about 10 years ago, right? How many of us shop online today just to buy anything or anything for ourselves, right? Fantastic. How many of you did the same thing as casually about 20 years ago? Right? It was there. It was there, but we weren't doing it. 20 years ago, I was a toddler, so probably not the most effective example. What we're seeing today is also that buyers have 73% of them have a preference to place via digital channels. And we're seeing that in beauty alone, there's a $432 billion industry that's going to be there by 2026, processed just by B2B e-commerce platforms. As Kingpin, we've been in the market for about 3 years now, close to 3 years. And what we're seeing is a growing adoption from different players within the industry, cross-category, who are beginning to understand and identify these inhibitors to their scale today. We have brands and distributors of brands such as Skechers, Anta, Reebok across sports, primary brands across fashion, other brands across beauty via their distributors, and toys. And what we're seeing today is that we're able to digitize this entire process into a simple journey that's as easy as browse, connect, and buy. What you're going to see on the first screen over here is a simple example of how effective it is for your clients to go through your catalog today rather than going through those line sheets and choosing one image at a time. They can filter by the products, the range, they can reorder items that they've already ordered, and so on and so forth, just by a few clicks. The next one's on connect. Whenever your clients come to your showroom and they want to choose products with you and they want to go back and order those, instead of sending an Excel sheet, you can scan these items or even upload them directly, click one button, and share it directly with your customer as so. They log in, they have it ready in their wish list, they make a few clicks, and they've made their purchase. That experience is so much faster, so much more rich, that it saves you all that time that you can invest in building relations with your clients rather than focusing on the administrative tasks. And thirdly, you can eliminate down to, I would say, around 65% of your human errors just by making sure that you're inputting the data in the same format. And sometimes this format is far more effective to have it in order management, where your clients can just go in with a few clicks, put in their quantities. So, immediate benefits that we've seen, and I'm going to go into a couple of case studies in a second, just to show you the real-life examples of how these solutions have been implemented. Today, what we see is that we're able to reduce the time spent and increase the revenue for the people that implement B2B solutions, time reductions by 60% and revenue increase by 20% within just 12 months of implementing a solution. It's because their teams are far more effective. They don't have all that time to focus on admin, and they spend that time on high-value activities like building relations with their clients, cross-selling, acquiring more suppliers, and expanding more markets. We're seeing that we're able to reduce the amount of costs by these sellers by spending less time on administrative tasks so that all the information goes straight through the platforms right into their ERPs. Third, and probably the most effective today, the purpose of B2B platforms is not to eliminate the human connection, right? It's so that you have more time and ease so that you can build that human connection. You want your sales teams to be able to focus on high-value discussions with your clients rather than just chasing the next target or the next sales target. You want them to be able to build rapport, build a connection, and use data to actually inform them to make better decisions. And these are just the foundational building blocks to building a great business. Finally, we see reduced errors by 50% on the slide, but in our case studies that we've seen it gone down at least by 85% already because of inventory mismatch. When you send your clients a stock list and 2 clients have received the same stock list, you see that each of them, if they place the order at the same time, you have an inventory discrepancy for those items. So all of these discrepancies are reduced by implementing simple, effective B2B solutions. But that's just on the immediate term. In the long term, we see that you're able to harness the power of data to drive intelligent decision making. Let the systems tell you how much stock cover you need to carry for your clients. Let the systems tell you which product category works in which demographic, which subset of customer, and let that drive the intelligence rather than those Excel sheets reports that are happening on the back end. Secondly, enhance your planning. Once you have visibility of the data, you're much more effectively able to spot and solve opportunities. And this allows you to be a lot more efficient as a company and not only optimize your costs, but be more strategic in the long term by having smarter people who are focused on more high-value tasks. And thirdly, if it's far easier to manage the number of brands that you have and the number of retailers that you serve, it's far easier to go out and get more brands and expand your distribution portfolio and expand your client base as well, enabling business scale like it's never been done before. Today, we have two examples. Although they're from the fashion industry, we'd love to give you a quick walkthrough on a couple of unique pain points that these players have faced and how a B2B solution has helped them solve for them and enhance and grow their business. So Ampere is a phenomenal brand from the Netherlands. And what they are is a menswear, premium streetwear brand. They sell to about 100 retailers across the globe. And one of the pain points that they had was that they wanted to expand from Netherlands to other countries outside their territory. And one of the things that they predominantly struggled with was how can they reach so many people with just a limited team of 3 people within their company. Today they're over 12, just within 2 years, but that was the story at the time when we met them. What they saw as well was that the solutions that were available in the market were super complex to implement. 6-month implementation times, lots of technical talk that make it very difficult for commercial people like you and I to be able to go out and implement solutions that will actually make our lives easier. We implemented Ampere, brought on Ampere onto Kingpin, and just within a period of short 3 months, we saw that they were able to save 3,000 euros by eliminating all their other software costs that they were using to power their distribution business, whether it would be parts of their CRM, other B2B tools, and so on. We saw that we were able to simplify their ordering process, reducing the friction in sales. And thirdly, we reduced all their complex administrative tasks like preparing complex line sheets, sharing it to their customers, and giving their customers a far smoother purchasing experience. So one of the main feedbacks that we've understood from that client is that the platform has to be made simple so that their buyers can come in, place their orders, and get out, right? You don't want to have a situation where you have drop-off only because of the fact that you've chosen a different channel. So what we saw is that after building and iterating with Ampere, we were able to make this seamless journey from discovery, email notification, log in, click the brand, see the catalog, make your selection, place your order, get out. Reducing that time it takes to place an order from about 90 minutes each time going through those Excel files to an as quick as 20 to 30 minutes using all the recommendations that the platform automatically generates based on that client profile. Another case study, something a bit more relevant towards the beauty space, was when we onboarded the distributor of Jockey, Hanes, and 40 other brands in the Middle East. What we saw that this company had a massive operation with around 40 salespeople alone selling their products across a network of around 50 countries. The biggest issue that this distributor faced was the inability to have live tracking on their inventory, being able to give a unified display of their stock on hand to hundreds of clients across these countries. What was happening in the offline world? Anytime anyone wanted to order, they would drop them an email, request for an FTS or a stock on hand. These guys would go to their ERP, pull it out, send it to this client with their pricing. Repeat the same process again and again and again until once the orders started coming through, if the first client had placed this order, the second client got the Excel sheet from the same time a week ago, so the inventory changes. And as that keeps happening, you kind of reduce the customer experience that you're giving to your clients because they keep getting these discrepancies in the stock. They're not able to fulfill your orders to the maximum capability. And what we saw was that their sales reps were not even confident to close the deals because they were like, if I take this order, I can't even guarantee that I'm going to give you the stock, but let me go back and check. Increasing the sales cycle, increasing the friction, and reducing the customer experience or the NPS in this space. And finally, which I'm sure a lot of you have here, they have thousands of SKUs. How are you going to present all those thousands of SKUs? Back in the day, we used to use CDs, cassettes, before we found the iPod, right? Over 1 million songs just in one device. Today, we're in the new phase where we don't need to carry these samples. We don't need to have those Excel sheets. We can carry over 1 million products and actually carry it on your phone or your device and continue selling more effectively. So, what were the benefits? What were the solutions and the wins that we had with this particular distributor? Number one, we were able to streamline their workflows. So, every single sales rep now flows into the same flow, making it super effective for these people to come in and get those deals coming into their one unified system. But the biggest win was we reduced the manual efforts that these sellers had to do to be able to manage all their inventory in one place and unify that across their entire client base, making sure that their clients could log in, see the stock, and order whenever they wanted. Even if they needed to set certain minimums per client, they were able to do that. No more efforts on pricing by client. All of that is automatically applied through the system as long as you set it up. And for them, it was far more effective, as the more they sold, the better the system got at recommending new products to their clients. And the better their clients saw the use of the system and the recommendations, the higher and higher their sales, or their AOV, the average order volume, went over time. Let's dive in a little bit into a couple of cases in the beauty space. One of the things that we've seen that's very common across distributors and brands is having a unified inventory for all your salons, spas, and retailers that are there across your space, giving them the ability to replenish products as and when they want, so that your team can focus that time on new clients. How can we make that simpler? And that's one of the key focuses that we've identified for the beauty industry. The second one, and which is based off customer feedback and requests, what we've seen is bundles. What we've seen is that today beauty distributors send PDF catalogs to their customers saying, would you like to know about this offer? We're buying 1 of this, 3 of this, 6 of those. If you buy this in this quantity, you're going to get 20% off. And every month, they create new offers. And for their clients, it's just a bombardment of information, which they wish they could be able to access in real time and see those offers, push it, and liquidate inventory much, much, much faster. Thirdly, salons are placing average order volumes of $1,500 to $2,000. This is a small ticket in the wider scheme of things, and these should be easier purchases that these buyers can make via credit card. Allow them to have the ability to buy now and have payment terms via their card, or even get points. Or number 2, enable buy now, pay later, so that the buyers can come in and split in 4 installments, allowing them to have freer cash flows and stagger out their purchasing so that it can be more in line with their sales growth. And fourth and foremost, beauty training resources. We know that we need to send our staff, 10% of our staff, to go out and train all our buyers on how to apply the products, how to present those products. Can we centralize all the materials in one place so that our buyers can have something to refer back to every time they want to go back and demonstrate that these products work in their retail outlet? So as we speak, so far, we've just seen the problem, the context, the problem, the solutions, and what comes next. But what you've heard so far is just one step of the journey, less than 5%. The implementation of B2B softwares allows us to do far more than just enhance our business in one way. And I'll tell you 3 things that we at Kingpin are super excited about rolling out in the next 24 months. The first begins with sales enablement. We believe that there's a lot of opportunity that you can search for buyers to discover new brands and for sellers to discover new buyers. If the catalogs and information are centralized in one place, we're able to leverage this data to generate new leads for our sellers and new leads and new brands for our buyers based on their purchasing history, just by integrating the platform in one place. 2, embedded finance. As more and more transactions are covered into the platform, we're planning on rolling out embedded finance. That way, any seller that becomes part of the ecosystem gets access to working capital financing as and when they need. So you could be doing sales of $50,000 in 1 month across 10 clients, click one button and get your cash up front rather than giving 60 days terms, and your buyers will get those terms, but you will get the liquidity with a 1 or 2% discounting fee from the platform itself. And thirdly, having all your logistics streamlined and tracked in one place, giving real-time tracking to your clients on where their goods are, have they been picked, delivered, are they in transit, and giving them tracking on that information as well through data and reducing the overall logistics fees as this scales. All right, so as we come to the gear towards the end of the presentation, I would want to leave everyone with 3 key takeaways that kind of relish the information that we've just received today. The first one, data-driven transformation, is critical to succeed in this new world that we live in. We're seeing it happen everywhere, and just in this space, we see a lot of opportunity that businesses need this to actually take their companies to the next level. The second one, and this is something that we have to discuss a lot with our clients, digital transformation is a marathon, it's not a sprint. As much as we know the behavior of our clients, it's impossible to change it overnight. And that's where our mission comes in. We're taking a slow, long-term approach that focuses on long-term adoption rather than immediate forcing and drop-off sales. So we've built tools that allow both sides to operate the platform and gain value without actually being in it. And thirdly, staying agile and forward-thinking gives you the competitive edge. So today, it's never too late, but you don't want to be too late, right? You want to be able to start now, start on the journey, so you have the competitive edge over everybody else as soon as the time comes. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah. So I have a question about when we decide to sign up on Kingpin, what is your business model? How do you get money from the buyers or the, yeah.
Fantastic. So we've built our business model to make sure that it's the most applicable. As I know, as I've been in a distribution business, doing a percentage-based business model does not work in this space. These are your customers, right? Nobody should be taking a percentage of any of your existing business. Unless you're getting financing or payments or whatever extra value, there should be no percentage taken. The way that we charge is not even on a per user basis, we charge on a brand basis. You distribute more brands, your SaaS fee increases, and our SaaS fees start as low as $99 a month, all the way to $499 a month if you want all the advanced functionality, that's it. And after that, it's just an add-on of how many brands. As simple as that.
Hello, Harsh.
Hey.
I'm Tassos, I'm from Barberia, Bahrain.
Okay.
I have a question for you, because obviously in our industry, there is a lot of approvals that we need from the Ministry of Health, whether it is in Dubai, in Bahrain, for myself, or Saudi. So have you guys looked into that aspect, into your solution? Because that takes the most time for me.
Approvals from your sellers?
Yes.
So basically,
for me to bring products from my sellers, I need all these approvals. And it's not the sellers that they do that.
Yeah.
So it's at a local scale. So how does your solution respond to that?
Great question. So the honest truth is that we are a software and technology play. We try and stay away from all the nitty-gritty things that are very operational to the business. However, this is a very similar example of SASO and Saber, right? If anyone's ever shipped anything to Saudi, you know that you need the Saber certificate. You need the PCOC, then you need the SC, and then you need the test report to be able to ship any particular SKU from any brand. This was something that we started doing, and we focused on fashion and apparel as a category. As soon as we did, we started seeing a lot more transactions as brands, bigger and bigger brands, started adopting. Then we started seeing the mid and small brands not being able to solve this. And we saw that the buyers wanted to buy. So what we did was, we started offering this as a service, just by connecting the dots. Today, in beauty, we're still early, and beauty is far more complex in terms of the requirements that they need. I would say that today, we may not have the solution, but it's definitely in our roadmap to tackle, probably as we get more and more density in the beauty space.
And one of the most interesting parts was about the stock problem, right? How actually some of our customers that already got our stock list like a week ago, and then it's already out of stock, and we get into this problem.
Exactly.
Can you mention again, please, what's the solution about that?
Sure. So look at it this way, right? There's two ways of doing it. One is the light way, which we recommend, which is easier to implement, and you can do it overnight within a period of 24 hours. And then there's the long-term way. The short way is you log into Kingpin, you set up your profile, you upload your catalog, and the way you share your FTS with the customer, right, the stock list, you just upload it inside here. Now, as and when you get different orders from different customers, as long as it's coming in one place, it will automatically deduct and show the customer the next one. So if I had 10, you ordered 2, it would show 8 to him. He ordered 3, it would show 5. And let's say if 3 of them order at the same time, and if you confirm 1, 2, 3, it will deduct the stock in that particular order. The second route is we are able to integrate with any ERP. So we can integrate with SAP, Oracle, all the way to Zoho. So you let us know your ERP system, give us 2 weeks, and we're able to plug in directly and pull your live stock from the system and show it over here. So that way it's always there in real time.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, A, how many beauty brands have you worked with, beauty companies?
Yep.
And B, have any one of them started with D2C and built it on Shopify, so they have everything in place, but then struggled when they went into B2B where this was the answer?
Okay, great question. So that's 2 questions packaged over there. Let's start off with the first one. So over the last 2 years, we've onboarded over 90 beauty brands. Majority of them have come through distributors that we've onboarded in the region, and they carry portfolios of 20, 30, and so on. But then we have a lot of direct D2C brands that we've picked up from all over the world that use our software to run their business today. The second part is about D2C brands that start down the Shopify route, and how do you go into this animal that is a B2B space, right? So, number one, you have your Shopify set up, which is great, which means you have your catalog information and images. We do a live integration with Shopify. So all your products that are there can be pulled into Kingpin, and all you do is set a pricing. So that way your customers can see your inventory here, and just see the wholesale price rather than the retail. And that way it's essentially seamless to go out and go live. I hope that answers the question. By the way, one last point. We're a venture-backed company. So Kingpin is funded by some of the region's best early-stage VCs, venture capital funds that have invested in phenomenal companies like Kareem, Property Finder, and so on. And that gives us the firepower to actually go out and build something that's long-lasting, enduring at scale. So we've really invested a lot on this product so that we can actually go out, be affordable, and capture the market share very quick. And that's a little bit about us. Cool, perfect. Fantastic. Ladies and gents, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.